Call them today at 1-800-731-4558
And go from there.
and save $1,600. SafeStep walk-in tubs and showers are proudly made in Tennessee and offer an ultra-low step-in, avoiding that difficult climb over a traditional bathtub wall. They also offer a variety of therapeutic benefits that may help soothe your aching muscles and joints, increasing your mobility, boosting your energy, and improving your sleep. SafeStep walk-in tubs are designed to easily fit your existing tub space and are often installed in as little as one day. Just dial 1-800-731-4558 today to save $1,600 and receive a free shower package. That's 1-800-731-4558 for a free no-obligation consultation and to save $1,600. Safe Step walk-in tubs. Safety never felt so good.
This is Paul Feinbaum. That'll do it for me today. Coming up next, The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Tuscaloosa, we live by the blue-collar basketball motto.
Stepping back, the 3,
Hard work.
2-on-1, driving, stepping through, top shot, got it to go.
Teamwork.
Playing the song for the champions of the Southeastern Conference.
Join us for every game right here on your home for Alabama basketball.
Listen to Alabama basketball all season long on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
If hunting and outdoor recreation are your passions, it all starts with the right property. That's where I come in. I am Bo Butler with Southland Realty and Auction, a hunting and recreational land specialist and a Jackson County native who sees land through a hunter's eyes. Just as you trust your guide on a big game hunt, you can trust me to find the perfect property for you. Thinking of selling? Let me help you make your land attract buyers. Remember, Bo knows land. Call me at 256-609-0512.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com. When you call most roofing companies, all you'll hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming. At Fleming Roofing and Restoration, we're focused on your needs, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement. Folks around here have trusted Fleming since 1965 for all their residential and commercial roofing needs. And as the area's storm damage experts, Fleming knows all the ins and outs of the insurance claims process. Log on FlemingHSV.com to schedule your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
I'm here with Vice President of Mortgage from Bank of Frank Ewing, John Kendall. And John, if you're hearing this commercial right now and you're thinking of getting a new house, boy, oh boy, do you guys have a deal.
We do. It's a grant. $25,000 if you're a veteran, $20,000 if you're not a veteran. This can be used for closing costs, down payment.
Very simple. All you have to do is give Bank of Frank Ewing a call at
256-507-9180.
And how long does this process take?
Oh, it takes just a few minutes, maybe 15, 30 minutes on the phone. We'll send you a link and you fill that out in your own time. We'll approve you.
Who would not want $25,000 for a new house? John Kendall, give them the phone number and online address one more time.
256-507-9180 or at bankoffrankewing.com.
It's Bank of Frank Ewing giving you $25,000 for a new house. Bank of Frank Ewing in Hazel Green is an FDIC insured bank as well as an equal housing lender.
NMLS number 446707.
We are your home for March Madness.
Hit the corner. James, right corner 3. Oh, it's a Tennessee blitz. The Volunteers dominating the Creighton Blue Jays in the second half.
We are 97.7 ESPN The Zone. WCZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN The Zone. This hour is brought to you by Woody Anderson Ford, Alabama's F-150 Superstore. Welcome to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, 256-576-4977.
That's how I roll, and I'm not going to drink and drive anymore.
That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Wes and Steve.
Time to crank up a new week, and we will start things out here in the Fortress of Solitude. How are you, Wes Neighbors? Yeah, I like it.
Doing good. Good to be here.
I tell you, the college basketball season is winding down, and where is it? By the way, right out of the gate, Eddie Conyers, I don't know if you saw this from over the weekend, broke his hip. Reached out to Eddie, and his wife picked up. He's okay, and is according to his wife, forgive me for not knowing her name off the top of my head, she said he is the proud recipient of a brand new hip. So he is recovering quite well. Just celebrated, about to celebrate his 76th wedding anniversary as well. So
wow.
That's
unbelievable.
That's our boy Eddie Conyers. But keep him in your thoughts and prayers, please, as he is going through this.
Absolutely.
I can't imagine it's
a bad hip at his age is not good. Yes.
No.
But I'm going to tell you something. He is something else. That cat was a referee, and he refereed my dad in practice. That's unbelievable.
Yeah, so that's going on out there. And also the March Madness projections are out yet again. And once again, the Southeastern Conference, this according to The Sporting News, has a total of 13 SEC teams projected to make the field. That would be the leader in the clubhouse all time. Your number one seeds as it stands right now are Auburn, Duke, Florida, and Alabama. The Crimson Tide are the last number one seed right now, but I tell you, they
still got a lot of basketball left.
Yeah, most notably tomorrow night. That's a tough deal against Mississippi State. Or wait a second, all these games are starting to jumble in my head. Is it Mississippi State tomorrow?
But I'm not.
It is Mississippi State tomorrow. And then Saturday, it's at Tennessee. So it's a pretty good little gauntlet there. Justin Hokanson tweeted out a mock what the SEC bracket would look like. And Justin Hokanson, who covers On 3 Auburn Live at On 3. And I had this up earlier, and where did I put it? Anyway, let me try to dig that out. But it had, I think, Kentucky just on the fringe of they would play Thursday. By the way, so the SEC basketball tournament, I know we're used to that first day being a night session only. That's not the case this go around. Wednesday starts at 11:45. So all day Wednesday, all day Thursday, all day Friday. So all the sessions, by the way, start at 11:45 beginning on the 12th. And we will have the SEC basketball tournament for you right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone, plus which will roll into the SEC championship game and also Selection Sunday, because we are now your home for the NCAA basketball men's Division I tournament. And we'll begin with the Selection Sunday show, which is Sunday, March the 16th, which is, let's hear, that's 3 Sundays away. So that's going on. UH Charger basketball. Yeah, that's still a thing going on too. They have now won 26 games in a row. 2-6.
Wow.
I'm telling you.
It's impressive.
They are going for win number 27 on the 27th in Livingston to close down the regular season. And a week from tomorrow is Super Tuesday in the GSC. That starts the Gulf South Conference basketball tournament. And we will actually have doubleheader action for you, as for the first time in the history, both the men and women will be hosting on March the 4th. So if you're a season ticket holder, I know you've probably already been contacted, but if you're just a novice fan out there and want to go see some good basketball, well, you got your chance. That is a week from tomorrow over at UAH. I don't know who the men or women are playing yet. Neither does the Gulf South Conference. So they're still figuring out that the Chargers are obviously the 1 seed. They secured that. Nice win over Montevallo, by the way, Wes. It was Montevallo is a big time. They're a top 10 team in the region, and I think they proved their worth. I really do. And Montevallo, that was a really good win for the Chargers, a very efficient win for the Chargers. Tommy Murr has just been ridiculous. He really has. And this past weekend, if he doesn't get player of the week, I don't know if they've announced it yet. He scored 41 in the Thursday game, scored 33 at Montevallo on Saturday. He is just, it's just, there is something inside players when they know it's their last go around. And there's something inside Tommy that is just willing his team not to lose. And he's a special player. In fact, he is averaging 20.8 points a game, 5.7 assists a game, 4.6 rebounds a game, and shooting 53%, including 41% from beyond the arc, 93% at the free throw line. He's 26 at the free throw line in his last 4 games. So other than that, Tommy hasn't done too much.
So how tall is Tommy?
Tommy is about as tall as I am, which
it's not very tall.
Depending on who you believe out there. 5'10", 5'10
So
and a half.
how's Tommy?
Well, he's a senior. In fact,
So
when in doubt, he'll be a senior.
Yeah. So he'll be at UAH again next. I mean,
all he's got to do is sue the NCAA and
that's right.
Get some eligibility. I wonder what they list Tommy at. I'm going to look this up. Tommy is listed at 6'1".
He's under 6 foot.
Listed at 6'1". But Tommy is a lot of fun to watch. And as is Daniel Saylor, Blake Campbell, Matt Thurman. This team just has explosiveness all over it. Luke Burnett, who, by the way, last I checked, is still tied for the lead for the nation, not the GSC, in the nation, with made 3-pointers on the year. So I'll look that up here momentarily. It's also a big week for myself and Scott Tyson, because on Wednesday we will be up in Nashville. In fact, both Lipscomb and Central Arkansas play tonight, and appreciate some sponsors as well as Lipscomb for allowing us to come in there. And it is senior night, by the way, for the Bison. Ran into Lenny Acuff down at Montevallo on Saturday, and he's excited to see us up there in Nashville on Wednesday, and we're certainly excited to bring you the game, which about 30 minutes, the last 30 minutes of this show on Wednesday will be a pregame show leading right up to tip-off, which is right at 7 o'clock there at Allen Fieldhouse there on the campus. It's a beautiful place to watch a basketball game if you've ever been there in downtown Nashville. But we'll have Central Arkansas and Lipscomb, as Central Arkansas, I know, has UNA tonight. And last I checked, UNA was about a 10.5-point road favorite at Central Arkansas tonight. So we'll see how things shake out for the Bears. And the Bison are in Clarksville taking on Austin Peay. Not Austin Peay. We found that out with Nick Saban down in Tuscaloosa. It's Austin Peay.
So I can't chant Go Pee anymore?
No, it's Austin Peay. No, yep. It's going to always be Austin Peay to me.
When he said that, he was talking about how you need to respect him. Right?
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. That's
more South Georgia drawl to it.
Yeah,
Go Pay.
Yeah, I
Austin
forgot
Peay.
all about that.
So keep a close eye on Lipscomb and Central Arkansas, just for selfish reasons. And coming up tomorrow night, we'll have coverage of the Alabama Crimson Tide as they play host to Mississippi State. That coverage begins at 7 o'clock. Another late tip for the Alabama men's basketball team. Congrats to the Alabama women's basketball team. That was a come-from-behind win over Auburn yesterday. At one point, Alabama was down by 16 in the first half and comes behind and downs Auburn by double figures themselves. So it was a big day for Christy Curry's team. As we will have coverage, by the way, of the Alabama women's basketball tournament, and the SEC women's basketball tournament is probably better worded right there. But we will carry the SEC women's basketball championship game coming up on March the 9th. So here we go with March. Is it finally basketball season in your world?
Yes.
Okay. Finally basketball season.
It started about a week ago.
For Auburn, it's been cranked up since they pumped up the basketballs. They're 25-2 on the year, 13-1 in SEC play. Florida is 24-3, 11-3 in SEC play. Bama is also at 11-3 in SEC play, tied with the Florida Gators. Tennessee is 9-5. Missouri is 9-5. Texas A&M is 9-5. Ole Miss is 8-6. Here's your 500 teams: Mississippi State and Kentucky. Those two teams are 7-7. These are all below 500 SEC teams because, as Carl Ravitch found, as we all found out from Carl Ravitch, the SEC is only 500 in SEC play. Vanderbilt's at 6-8. Arkansas is at 5-9. Texas is 5-9. Oklahoma and the Georgia Bulldogs are both 4-10. LSU's 3-11. And look at them, South Carolina Gamecocks getting off the schneid. No longer winless in SEC play. I think they played Texas and beat Texas from over the weekend.
Texas has some good players, but they really don't play. They don't look too well coached to me. That's just me.
South Carolina's 1-13 in SEC play, but they hooked them. They hooked them over the weekend. If you'd like to be a part of the program, you can certainly do so at 256-576-4977, the telephone number, if you'd like to participate. So something to keep in mind of this week. In fact, saw a preliminary report here from On3 about rule changes coming. We kind of got wind of this last week with Steve Shaw coming on, who gave us a little insight on the possibility of 20 tweaks or 20 points. He didn't say 20 different rule changes, but something to keep an eye on as they are going to meet in Indianapolis on Wednesday.
Try to couch some of those as just points of discussion.
Yes, points of light.
I heard they're going to do a penalty box. Is that true?
Well, we can only hope.
The
Neighbors Wealth Management penalty box. That's right.
I fully support that.
Count down to your bank account growing with Neighbors Wealth Management.
That would be interesting. That's for sure.
Don't let your finances sit on the sideline.
I mean, even if you get a personal foul, you should go out for at least 5 minutes, right?
Just
unsportsmanlike conduct.
So your penalty box would mirror just like it would it be an independent clock, or would it go?
No, it'd be like a little box.
But it would have to be running simultaneously, like it is in hockey for a power play.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you get to replace the player. Like in hockey, sometimes you play a man down, all that. You don't do that.
Yeah.
No, I think you should do man down. Get out there, 4 guys on the court.
At Hoosiers line, my team is out there on the field. 256-576-4977. The telephone number if you'd like to participate. I mentioned rule changes because the NFL is meeting tomorrow about some rule changes, and leadership has already kind of put some feelers out there, most notably the Eagles' most dominant play. They are trying to outlaw yet again the tush push. This from the Green Bay Packers, who are leading the charge on the controversial short yardage play.
I read
tush push.
that they wouldn't say who was leading the charge, but
it's the Green Bay Packers,
an unnamed team. Come on, I mean.
Well, this is from sportingnews.com telling me this.
So what are they? I mean, they're going to make it where you're not allowed to go low at all, and that's going to be
the
end of the game.
The little rugby scrum could be.
Well, it's not really a rugby scrum. It's just people firing off low. That's what we
low man wins.
Yeah. Now they're allowed to push them. You used to not be allowed to push them. That used to be the rule. But they just want to do away with the thing totally. I don't know why you just don't do it. What is wrong with you? Just do it. Get a first down.
Or stop it. I mean, if you really want to stop it, I realize, especially with the leverage, and it really is the perfect play for somebody like a Jalen Hurts who has such fantastic lower body strength.
We had Mike Shula. He never didn't get it on a quarterback seat. Never. It's not about really. I mean, yeah, it helps having a guy with strong legs, no doubt. You know? But it's more about the offensive lineman coming off the ball and coming off right off the ground. It's hard to beat it. Hard to beat it.
Are you in favor of getting rid of the tush push?
No, I think it's no. I'm not.
Of course, I was never that. The one thing that I never really fully got used to all season long was this new kickoff deal.
No, I can watch it. It's so stupid.
I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. I wish they had flipped back to the way it used to be.
Yeah.
I understand trying to make the game safer. I get that. I totally understand that. But there's got to be a better way.
The kickoff is embarrassing. It's embarrassing. I have to turn away. I can't look. I mean, who came up with that and they approved it?
I think that was an XFL deal, and the NFL was like, okay, all right, let's give it a go. Yeah, I really hope college football that we never see that in college football.
No.
And I don't know if that's part of what we may potentially hear later on this week. I noticed when we tried to get specific with Steve Shaw, he immediately went very vague, but we'll find out whether or not there's a penalty box involved later on the week. He kind of snickered at that, but I think he liked it. I think he.
Well, I could hear him thinking.
Any idea is a good idea, is what we heard out of Steve Shaw last week.
Do something.
256-576-4977, the telephone number. Left this hour wide open for your phone calls, walking you up to Hey Coach and the Nate Oates Show. That comes up at 6 o'clock. Ray has called in. How are you, Ray?
I'm well. Yourselves?
Doing very well. Thank you for asking.
First things first, couple of comments for Steve
All
specifically, and then I can get to my comments. Happy belated birthday to you, sir.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you.
And I was supposed to call you about that other thing today, and I got busy and didn't. I apologize. We're going to talk about it tomorrow.
All good. You are all good. A little busy tomorrow, just to give you a heads up, but I'll make some time for you, Ray.
That works. I'll text you in the morning. We'll figure it out.
Yep.
Now to the actual sports.
There you go.
The Packers being the ones to complain about this, there's always a team that cries foul when somebody finds a massive competitive advantage.
Yeah.
If someone could complain about Green Bay having an open-air stadium in January, they would complain to the competition committee. This feels a little bit about the pot calling the kettle black.
Could very well be the case.
I'm curious to hear your thoughts. See you, Jet.
Just the bigger issue I have with the NFL is what we've just got through talking about, and that's the kickoff. There's no doubt from a television number standpoint that the NFL is obviously that big gorilla that everyone talks about because of how many eyeballs are watching the National Football League. But honestly, I cannot think of a year that I watched less NFL football than this past year. And yeah, the Falcons taking a dip did have something to do with that with me. The Titans being awful had something to do that with me.
It was the kickoff with me.
Was it? I just
can't watch.
I watched as
I just watch it. I'm like, what do they do? Who came up with that? But it was the kickoff and they were really bad early in the season because nobody practices anymore. They don't do 2-a-days. They don't play in the preseason games because they play so many games and they're just not very good. They just look like to me, they weren't in, and they don't play hard. Half these teams, people take games off.
Mm-hmm.
And I get it. They're trying to, because the season's so long. I know why they're doing it. I enjoyed the playoffs. I did enjoy the playoffs. They were getting after it.
I think I started watching hardcore the playoffs the second weekend after Wild Card weekend, the divisional round. I want to say is when, and they did look, the Ravens Bills game was maybe one of my favorite games that I saw. If I'm thinking about the right one, I think it was the Ravens Bills. But I really hope this isn't the path. It feels to me like college football is taking the NFL blueprint. And
I don't get it. I mean, I like the fact that they're different. I mean, I want to see but the tush push is allowed in college and nobody does it. That's what just drives me nuts.
For now, but you would believe that someone is going to do that in this fall especially if you have a quarterback, and all quarterbacks can do it, especially with as many teams that are going for it on fourth down now.
I mean, 2 years ago, Louisiana Lafayette, it was hard to watch them. I'm telling you, they were so much better last year. But they had the ball on the 1 yard line. I guess 4 different times. So they each had 4 plays and they didn't get any of them. And they either threw the ball or ran out of the shot. They ran out of shotgun every time. And I'm like thinking, I want to send an anonymous letter to the head coach. It's like, Eagles fly, or something,
Philly special, otherwise known as a tush push.
And you look what happened to Texas in the semifinal game. I mean, they're about to tie the game up, and who knows what's going to happen at that point. And they throw the ball on the 1 yard line. Though they run a sweep to the left, get hit for a 6 yard loss on second down, and on third down they tried to throw the ball, and on fourth down they tried to throw it through it. I can't remember. He was sacked. I think it was a strip sack touchdown. Yeah, game over.
Ole Miss was 17 of 29 on fourth down conversions this year.
Yeah, the ones that didn't get them were all in 3 games they lost. I was watching.
Georgia was 18 of 27 on fourth down conversions this year. Of course, leading the way was the Army Black Knights. Along with West Virginia, they went for it 40 times on fourth down. But the way the state of the game is in college football, that number in particular going to keep going up. I'm amazed at how often fourth down is just treated like another down.
Well, it is another down.
I get that.
Another down to get better.
Let's turn the ball over in plus territory.
That drives me nuts, especially when you're in the lead. I mean, or it's tied or early in the game. I mean, you're choosing to lose that game almost. I mean, you're taking one play, and even if you get a first down, when you're on your side of the ball, don't mean anything. I mean, you still gotta. I mean, to me,
it feels like the analytics part of this whole deal.
The ball. There's not been anybody that. To me, you're stupid if you don't use analytics.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, for certain situations, you ought to use it, but early in it, you go back, and if Lane Kiffin kicks field goals in the first quarter, he wins all his games.
Yeah.
All of them. You have the better team now. I get it before.
I think they went for it early and missed it against Kentucky.
Oh yeah. Oh, they fumbled the ball. They didn't play well against Kentucky, and then they missed a field goal at the very end of the game as well. But Kentucky wasn't very good either.
That was the same day as Alabama, Georgia, down in Tuscaloosa. So,
yeah.
It just it does feel like fourth down is treated completely different than it used to be even 5 years ago. I know. Real Sports, back when that was a thing on HBO, they did an expose on a high school team in Arkansas that never kicked.
Never
kicked.
Never. They onside kick too. They never kicked off.
Yeah, never.
Yeah.
No, just never. And it feels like that strategy's getting adopted in a big way by a lot of college head football coaches. But going for it 40 times in a season, that is just Florida State went for it 32 times, but they kind of had to. Ole Miss 29 times, Georgia 27 times, but Arkansas went for it 23 times. And I know this is all situational stuff, but it feels like if there is one part of the game that has changed more than any on the college football side, it's going for it on fourth down. Anyway, I certainly like to get your thoughts, as well as if you want to talk some hoops, you can certainly do that as well. I'll give you the bracket on what the SEC bracket would look like on the other side of our first time out. 256-576-4977 is the number.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Been thinking about what kind of truck you need to pull that big boat or shiny Airstream Classic? I'd like to invite you to feel the torque of an F-150 Power Boost Hybrid. It combines the forces of gas and electric power for over 11,000 pounds of towing muscle. Hey folks, Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, where you can test drive over 200 new F-150s. And you can save up to $13,500 off MSRP on a 24 XLT 4x4 with the Power Boost engine. Save over $13,000 on F-150 today. On your way to a growing family or already have one? Then a Woody Anderson Ford Expedition is your ticket to ride. Save up to $12,000 off MSRP on a 24 Expedition at Woody Anderson Ford. $12,000 off Expedition. And there's more too. Get up to $8,000 off MSRP on the Agile and Sporty Escape ST line. And with a versatile 2024 Edge, you're looking at up to $10,000 off MSRP only at Woody Anderson Ford. Bring on the savings. I'm Bobby White, and I hope to see you soon.
Are you ready to be part of something bigger? Here at Qualys, we don't just support our national security and space programs. We fuel them with cutting-edge technology. From defending our nation to pushing the boundaries of space, Qualys is where innovation meets impact. Join a team driven by purpose, powered by critical technologies, and committed to making a difference. Your skills, your passion, our mission, where your career and your future takes flight. Apply now at qualys-corp.com.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
Our customers want best-in-class solutions. That's why we've recently added many new vendors like Zebra barcode printers. Our next level team has added premier automation solutions. We're not here to sell you just one product, and we love helping you find the right solution for your specific needs. That's what doing the right thing is all about, and that's why our customers have come back for over 50 years.
I'm here with Stan McDonald of Jacob Title. Stan, I've heard that every real estate closing at Jacob Title is a very big deal. Why is that?
Wes, I'm reminded of a very impactful statement that I heard from Coach Gene Stallings years ago when he talked about big games and little games. He said he didn't like that comparison. He says, because try losing one of those little games. And if you ever do, it ends up being the biggest game all year long. Well, it's the same thing with real estate closings. Every game, every closing is a very big deal at Jacob Title. Because when it's your closing and your contract on the line, it's a very big deal. And we understand that at Jacob Title.
So it sounds like whether your client is a first-time residential buyer or a multi-million-dollar investor, they can expect your A game.
That's exactly right. As a matter of fact, when you bring your real estate closing to us at Jacob Title, we understand it's all about trust and confidence. And when Stan McDonald tells you that a chicken dips snuff, you can look under his wing for the box.
And like Beams likes to say, there's no doubt about it.
This segment of The Drive is brought to you by Woody Anderson Ford, located online at woodyAndersonFord.com with 2 locations, Hughes Road in Madison and Jordan Lane in Huntsville.
It is a Monday edition of The Drive. 256-576-4977, the telephone number. The number 1 seed if the SEC men's basketball tournament were to start today, of course, the Auburn Tigers. The 2 seed would be Florida. The 3 seed would be Alabama. The 4 seed would be Tennessee. Those are your double buys. Your single buys would belong to Texas A&M. They'd be the 5 seed. 6 seed is Missouri. 7 is Ole Miss. 8 is Kentucky, the last team with the single bye. And right now, what it would look like on day 1 would be 16 playing 9. That's South Carolina taking on Mississippi State. 13 playing 12, Georgia, Texas. 15-10 is LSU, Vanderbilt. And the 14-11 matchup is Oklahoma and Arkansas. And that would feed into the Missouri-Bama bracket. For Auburn fans out there, South Carolina, Mississippi State would play Kentucky, and you would get the winner of that game. That is if the bracket were set today. There's still a lot to dive into. LSU Lynch has called in.
No, he didn't want to talk to you.
He didn't want to talk to us?
He didn't want to talk to you.
Wow.
He just calls and talks to me, and then he hangs up.
So this is the talk show within the talk show.
Yeah, well, you know,
going on.
Evidently, I am somebody. So,
wow.
You know, I figured he can just call and hang up on me instead of having to go through all the rigmarole of hanging up on you.
That makes way for Jeff, who's called in. How are you, sir?
Good. How are you, Steve?
Doing real well. Appreciate the phone call.
Got a question. How many years have you called UAH basketball?
My first year was 2000-2001.
So you were around when Josh Majette and all that.
Oh
was
yeah,
here.
yeah, definitely.
What's your opinion about this team? Is this the best UAH team you've seen?
Collectively, just together and how they play, yes. But I will tell you that if you gave me an option of putting Jamie Gardner, Josh Majette on this basketball team, I'd sign up for that.
No, I totally agree with you. I've watched them through the years, and this team has the chance to be special.
Yeah.
What about the rankings, the regional rankings? I know you said last week that they.
So it's just in alphabetical order right now. It's kind of their way of not doing homework completely and still throwing some recognition to some other schools out there. But after playing Nova right out of the gate and them winning by 1, Nova would have to lose a couple of times here down the stretch. Is it possible? Certainly anything's possible. They do have a loss in their conference, the Sunshine, that they lost on the road to Palm Beach Atlantic, but that they're just, I don't feel very optimistic about hosting a regional. And that stinks because you're the 3rd ranked team in the country and there's one team right above you who's number 2. So
yeah. So you don't think that if they were to win out, you think the head-to-head would take it?
I think if the Chargers win out, and you'd have to have Nova lose at least 2 more times.
Why do you say that?
The Sunshine is a stronger conference than the Gulf South this year, and they do, believe it or not, some sports actually do look at strength of schedule.
Huh.
I mean, I know I'm talking to a bunch of college football fans right now. I mean, just hold you back. They actually do look at the strength of schedule, and the Sunshine is just a bit stronger than the Gulf South this year. So that's why I think 2 losses would securely put a regional. 1 loss, it really depends on who that loss would be to. And again, strength of schedule. And yes, the head-to-head does hurt. And I know that I'm talking about a game that happened on November the 8th.
That's just unbelievable that they lost that first game and they hadn't lost it.
Yeah. No, I mean, trust me, I was having flashbacks because the game took place at Montevallo. And Saturday I was sitting there looking at the court thinking, wow. I mean, and Tommy had the ball as well at the very end. So,
oh, wow.
I know.
Well, all right. I appreciate your insight, and we'll just keep supporting them, and maybe we'll luck up and get to host. That would be nice.
That would be awesome. We've hosted 3 times and have made it to the Elite 8 twice. But it was also really cool to run into Lenny Acuff Saturday as well. Of course, his son Will is an assistant coach at Montevallo under Anthony Camara. So it's in one respect, it's kind of neat to see Swanee and all the Acuffs, as well as Kelly and just Molly and Will, but it's really weird to see him wear purple. So
absolutely, that took me aback, and then he was talking. I think has he been gone 6 years?
That's right. That's right. 6 years, believe it or not.
And I was like, wow.
Yeah.
But thanks for the insight, and you do a great job calling them, and we'll just keep rooting them on.
Thank you, Jeff. Appreciate the phone call, sir. 256-576-4977, the telephone number. And there's no other way to say it. It's been a very special year there for the Chargers, and under a first-year head coach. That's
nuts.
It really is. I mean, I really genuinely thought this was going to be an above-average year with knowing who was coming back, but not knowing the coaching staff all that well, and the growth of Daniel Saylor as well. It's just been special. It's just been really special, and hope you've enjoyed our coverage of Charger basketball all season long. And hopefully we have got a run of, let's see here. When is championship weekend? The Elite 8, by the way, takes place in Evansville, Indiana. So if we were to play on the championship day, which has never happened, we've made 2 Elite 8s in the history of the program and lost in both Elite 8s. We've never made it to a semifinal or a championship game. The championship game takes place. Believe it or not, we're airing the game, but I had to fill out when you if you're an affiliate radio station, you have to tell them that like we're a Bama affiliate, or if there's any other conflicts, a UAH Charger home affiliate, meaning that if we get to March 29th and the Chargers are still playing, that we're allowed to carry our broadcast over Westwood One's broadcast. So either way, we're carrying the championship game on March the 29th, but it would be kind of cool to
you get to call the game. That would be
call the
awesome,
game.
yes.
Yeah. So never done that before, but a lot has happened this year that I have never called at UAH, including a 26-game winning streak. Just remarkable.
I wasn't aware you've done this for 25 years.
Yeah, not consecutively. There was about a 4-year span where I was working with Titans Radio up in Nashville. So I'm in the neighborhood of like 21 years doing it. But yeah, my very first vivid memory that I have was a late December game, believe it or not, playing Barry. And the reason I say it like that is because Mick Hedgespeth, the current head coach, came from Barry.
Oh, there you go.
And it was Joe Smith training a little jumper at the free throw line to beat Barry at the end of regulation.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So,
yeah. Life is what happens while you're making another play.
Yeah. It's the program is awfully special, and so many great kids as well. But you realize you're getting older when you see more and more guys coming through with their kids. And now one of the bigger names was Sybar. We always called him Sybar, and that was Savar Sigermunson. Well, his son is now in middle school, and evidently, from what I'm hearing from people in the know, is that, you know what, he's growing like a weed, just like his dad was.
Pretty good.
Yeah. So something to keep an eye on there for maybe some future Chargers out there as well. But this is a really good group of guys, and even as much of a star as Tommy Murr is, other guys are stepping up in a big way. I don't know if you can quietly be the nation leader in made threes, but Luke Burnett just plays that role to a T, where he is just a perfect teammate. And this is, anyway, I can talk a little UAH basketball if you are inclined to do so. 256-576-4977, the telephone number. Looky there, UAH also won the conference championship in indoor track this past weekend as well. So, I mean,
they're on a roll.
And the women's team is also setting some records as well. And as I mentioned, March 4th, by the way, we will have the doubleheader here for you over the airwaves, as we're going to carry both games to start out the Gulf South Conference men's and women's basketball tournament. Now, I've done both games when we had it that one year. I want to say that was either 12 or 13 down in Birmingham when the women won the tournament. The men were actually ousted, I want to say, in the semifinals. No, it was the finals. I did do both championship games in one day, but I've never done the first game, the Super Tuesday event, which is what we're going to have for you coming up on March the 4th. 256-576-4977, the telephone number if you'd like to participate with a number of things going on, as well as, there was one other story that did involve some scheduling. Have you read up any more on colleges saying, nope, we're not doing a spring game? Not doing a spring game.
Yes. There are a bunch of them not doing it.
Yes.
Yes. And for the reasons some of the reasons what you're talking about, some of the
Why
reasons,
would I showcase my kids right before the portal opens is basically the point.
And the fact that they don't want to have to do a depth chart. It's not the showcase of the people. It's the depth chart. They don't want to fill out a depth chart. And people see the depth chart and call them, hey, see, you're third string. Yeah, that's what people are worried about.
One other little nugget out there. This took place initially late last week. I just didn't get a chance to talk about it because of other stories. The Nebraska-Tennessee home-and-home football series scheduled for 2026 and 2027 will not be played after Nebraska opted out of the agreement. Tennessee Athletic Director Danny White posted on X that Nebraska called off the series and added that Tennessee is very disappointed by the cancellation, especially so close to the initial game in 2026. Well, I got a feeling in 2026 that we're going to have an extra conference game that may fill that void.
I hope not.
You still don't think that?
No, I don't think it makes any sense whatsoever.
I think we're ultimately heading in that direction just so all the conferences will play the same amount of conference games.
They aren't playing the same amount.
You're right.
They're not playing the same type team. So I don't think that, if you sit there and you play, I just don't think it'll happen. I don't think they're going to agree to anything. What I'm kind of getting out of the pre-talk going into this, I don't think they're going to be doing much of anything.
Let me reach out to David Cutcliffe and get him back in the fold. If anybody is monitoring it very closely, it's David Cutcliffe. And he was a big proponent, as you are, of standing pat and keeping it at 8 conference games and not at 9. The scuttlebutt on especially...
Well, I think the rest of the nation want Alabama to go to, the SEC
to go to 9.
Yeah, of course they do. So they get more of their guys in. That's what they're thinking. I think the SEC needs to be smart. That I thought that he was making, when I say him, the commissioner, was making excuses for the way it turned out. I think he's taking some heat from his presidents and some of his athletic directors. And what he was saying, if you listen to what he said, basically that they didn't have all the data to make a good decision, and a lot of things changed, including the conferences. They were supposed to have 5 conferences, ended up with 4, and some of the things changed going into this, and he would have done things differently now. I saw Paul Feinbaum today was saying that there shouldn't be automatic bids. I don't disagree with that.
I don't either.
I don't disagree with that. But I do think.
But the committee showed you
what they're going to. Yeah. So if the committee's going to be, hey, it doesn't matter if you play the hardest schedule of the nation or the least hardest, we're going to treat it all as the same, is basically what they did.
Yeah.
They got to do something.
They West Collied the thing. I hate to say it like that, where a loss is a loss and a win is a win. But not all wins are created equal, and not all losses are created equal in college football. But the committee, if anything, I think all of this talk happening right now surrounding the sport of college football, what's not being talked nearly enough about, in my opinion, is the committee and what the committee did.
Well, they did talk about what they're going to do. They just didn't do it.
Exactly. That's my point of holding the committee accountable for what they did and what they didn't do. And that is value a strength of schedule. Now, do losses matter? Of course they do. But as I just mentioned, not every win is equal. Not every loss is equal.
No question.
Let's take our final time out. Final call for phone calls, getting you set for Hey Coach and the Nate Oates Show coming up at the top of the hour.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Tom Luganville here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work? Shower doors, shelving, and mirrors, all taken care of by Eagle, the same Eagle that takes care of all your masonry, insulation, and landscaping needs. Eagle brings the same level of expertise to all these disciplines, and they're ready to provide you with a free quote. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
Are you tired of power outages disrupting your life? It's time for a Generac standby generator from Current Electrical. Storms may rage outside, but inside your family's powered up. So why choose Current Electrical for your generator needs? 1, we offer a wide range of models to suit every budgeted energy requirement. 2, our project managers handle every step of the process: power, gas, permitting, and inspections. 3, our certified technicians install your generator with precision, ensuring peace of mind. Don't wait for the next blackout. Call 256-880-1880 or visit us online at jetsuperstore.com.
I'm here with Vice President of Mortgage from Bank of Frank Ewing, John Kendall. And John, if you're hearing this commercial right now and you're thinking of getting a new house, boy, oh boy, do you guys have a deal.
We do. It's a grant. $25,000 if you're a veteran, $20,000 if you're not a veteran. This can be used for closing costs, down payments.
Very simple. All you have to do is give Bank of Frank Ewing a call at
256-507-9180.
And how long does this process take?
Oh, it takes just a few minutes, maybe 15, 30 minutes on the phone. We'll send you a link and you fill that out in your own time. We'll approve you.
Who would not want $25,000 for a new house? John Kendall, give them the phone number and online address one more time.
256-507-9180 or at bankoffrankewing.com.
It's Bank of Frank Ewing giving you $25,000 for a new house. Bank of Frank Ewing in Hazel Green is an FDIC insured bank as well as an equal housing lender.
NMLS number 446707.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Emily Owen. A few clouds move into the Tennessee Valley for this Monday night, leaving us sitting under a partly cloudy sky. Low temperatures going to be falling into the upper 30s for the overnight. Looking ahead into our Tuesday, plenty of sunshine. High temperatures going to be warming into the mid-60s for the afternoon. It looks like rain returns back to the forecast early Thursday morning. I'm Fox 54 meteorologist Emily Owen on your home for ESPN Radio 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
The best in local sports talk from the 256. We are local.
When you're number one, you don't have to worry.
We are award-winning. Thank you for listening. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You'll be set for life.
Can we put this in the Friday rotation? This feels like a Friday song.
Absolutely.
It's a great song.
Friday's a state of mind.
Isn't it? Isn't it? Well, the AHSAA.
That song reminds me.
What's that?
Those drummers that we in front of us in New Orleans. They just want to drum all day.
And they did.
And they did.
And they sure did. And not a lot of those drums were drums.
Well,
Some of them were buckets.
They were mostly buckets.
Oh, yeah.
They were drumming the buckets. Yeah.
It was one or two drums, but you're right. They were mainly buckets. Those old paint buckets.
We were doing a live show.
Yeah, they were just
on the balcony of
Bourbon Street.
On Bourbon Street.
Yeah.
And these guys, about 30 minutes into the show, decided they're going to drum right below us.
Just have at it. Yeah, just have at it. Yeah, and they banged on the drum all night long. And it wasn't just during the show. I think there was more of them afterwards. Anyway, the AHSAA taking over Birmingham. And I know everyone's going to be shocked at this. Spring Garden was a winner today, and 1A girls basketball over RC Hatch. At one point in the first quarter was 18-2. They won it 81-34. And so Spring Garden for 1A girls basketball, yeah, this is a shout out to you, our Rome super fan out there. Spring Garden will take on Brilliant coming up on the 27th. That's Thursday at 4:00. But the state finals, or the semifinals, actually going on as we speak. And there is a lot to get excited about. Also, something to get excited about. Tomorrow at 5:00, David Cutcliffe is going to join us. And I was texting back and forth with Coach during the break. And the second thing he texted me was, I'm guessing this is about 8 or 9 games. Yes, it is, Coach. Yes, it is, Coach. So we'll get into that. I mean, he has got the ear of the commissioner of the Southeastern Conference, a wealth of experience as well. I mean, just saying the name David Cutcliffe, if you're a fan of SEC football, rather, you know the name David Cutcliffe. So really glad to have his friendship and his trust with us as well, as we're all trying to lead the sport down the right path because like I said earlier this hour, this year I watched as little NFL football as I can ever remember. And I don't ever want to say that about college football in about 10 years. But it does kind of feel like we're going down that NFL
teetering,
path.
and we're teetering, and they need to be careful.
Very careful. And this has nothing to do with the money side of things and the NIL. I'm just talking about the product on the field more than anything. This is why we had Steve Shaw on last week. This is why we're getting David Cutcliffe on again tomorrow, just to make sure we're heading down the right path. Another hour quickly rolls by on a Monday. By the way, you will have Alabama men's basketball tomorrow night, but that pregame doesn't start till 7. So you're going to have to put up with us for 2 hours in studio.
Crying out loud.
In studio.
You guys are cramping my stomach.
But then Wednesday, he'll be here, but I'll be in Nashville. Thursday, he'll be here, and I'll be in Livingston. So you're going to have to put up with him.
Oh, that's not the problem.
Yeah. Party on, Garth.
Party on, Wayne.
Been thinking about what kind of truck you need to pull that big boat or shiny Airstream Classic? I'd like to invite you to feel the torque of an F-150 Power Boost